magic on the track, boys.
Guys, we just came back from the Bad Bunny concert. It was amazing.
Yepa.
Yepa.
Got a few months to learn the Spanish, just saying.
I'm just saying, listen, February is going to be here sooner than later. So I'm just saying, in the words of one of my favorite R&B singers right now, Mr. Duran, for all my my rhythmically challenged folks, get it together. Anywho. Hello, everyone. Buenos dias, buenas noches, buenos tardes, whenever you're watching this, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Los Lobos de la Lucha, your weekly CMLL review show here at BC WrestlePod. Of course, it is winter, but as always, I am Mikey, rocking the tank tops as always. As you know, shout out to our friend Nick. I am El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, and I will be guiding my hermano, my Boricua. I tagged in one Puerto Rican for another, but I got Adolfo in the building tonight. You know, I'm just excited that I get to spend more time with him. It's been a really fun couple of days. I'm just putting it out there, y'all.
Yep, and I didn't realize Lucha Cat was going to be here, but Lucha Cat is here as well. So
we also have our mascot, Lucha Cat.
And shout out, not only shout out to Nick, shout out to Primo, who's out there watching, and is on the Kitty Hype train.
For reals, he is on the Kitty Hype train. So Nick and Agent Lo-Fi are in the building tonight, of course. Papa also, unfortunately, cannot be here with us tonight, but that's because he is being uber prima, who we love him. He is celebrating his birthday today, so it is his actual birthday. So happy birthday to Papa Oso. And so he is celebrating this whole entire week. So I am so excited, and I cannot wait to have him back, because when we talk about previewing my little heart cried of tears of happiness because we're getting our favorite little clowny boy. Anywho, we're going to talk about him at the end, but we got a lot to talk about because we are covering the Halloween edition of Viernes Espectacular.
Dia de los Muertos, baby.
Dia de los Muertos. I cried. I made sure I watched all the shows and watching all the masks, and that ceremony made me so proud to be Mexican, or half Mexican, I should say. All Latino, baby. Wepa. Anyways, before we get into all that goodness, though, really quickly, if you are new here to... Sorry, I was reading Agent Low 5. We all know El Buntador Segundo is behind Papa Oso's no show. You can't fool me. Shh, you're not supposed to say that out loud. It's like, I swear, listen, I am Switzerland. I just work here, y'all. I try to be friends with everyone. I have a relationship. But, yeah, El Buntador, we're going to have to talk because I told you not to, and you did it anyways. No, but if you are new to BC WrestlePod, you could expect these types of shenanigans across all our shows to varying degrees. We are loud, we are proud, we are an eclectic mix of white people, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and Andrew, who is a Samoan, and everything else you can think of. That man is more mixed than my soup on Sunday mornings. And you know what? He's chill, but he is also Samoan, so don't make him mad, because Professor can attest you won't like it when Andrew gets mad. But we are an eclectic group that loves professional wrestling and is very passionate about it. And if you, too, are passionate about wrestling, whether it's based in the U.S., international, or everything in between, you can subscribe to our YouTube or follow us on Twitch or Kick so you can always get notified of when we go live for these post-show breakdowns, so to speak. But if you still want to interact with us in a smaller capacity because you do not have the time or the energy sometimes to watch full-length post-show breakdowns, you can follow us on the social medias at BC WrestlePod, where we do the report cards and we preview the shows for all the stuff that we cover. We also do predictions, report cards, watch-alongs, you name it. It is a fantastic time. But, of course, we also, if you want to support us financially, there are two ways you can go about doing that. Buying some merch for yourself at our shop, bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. We are in the middle of November, and just dropping is our newest collection just in time for the whole month of November for Dia de los Muertos, which is a really fun design that I had a fun time creating in the style of one of my favorite surrealist artists in Salvador Dali. So you can check that out and other designs we have going on at our shop at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. And if you want to donate to us in any capacity to help us out, buy these pay-per-views, keep the metaphorical and sometimes physical lights on, as well as fund all the shenanigans that we get to do here at BC WrestlePod, our little homie, the Coffee Bot, will be popping in the chat on YouTube and Twitch ever so often. So click the link to see what's all that. But now, on with the show, because like I said, we are reviewing and going and breaking down a special Halloween-y and Dia de los Muertos edition of Viernes Espectacular. And first and foremost,
yeah, I gotta give a warning.
What's up?
Because I'm gonna be a little extra spicy tonight. Because if you are a fan of boring, straight up wrestling promotions that don't believe in the spooky ooky stuff and don't show it, then shut this show off right now.
You need to leave,
because this was all about the spooky ooky. This was all about not only that, but it was deeply ingrained in inspired by Mexican culture. So yeah, you just if you got to see it to believe it, but we'll get there.
We will definitely get into it. And I appreciate everyone. So I'm also going to give a little bit of a warning. I may or may not cry on camera. I've made sure I'm trying to keep myself composed because we got to get through it. But again, it is in 2025, and given the circumstances of how the world is, for me personally, as a kid who grew up wanting to see representation on everything, the fact that I get to review Lucha Libre and I could see a bunch of men and women and everyone in between, and I feel seen, especially during these important traditions and holidays, makes me very, very happy. But yeah, honestly, same. The vibes really carry the show. That is 100%. And it kind of starts with these graphics because, first of all, yes, ma'am. These graphics are so flippin' amazing. Shout out to the graphics department and the artists who, like juxtapose the, Calavera artwork onto all of our wrestlers for the whole entire weekend. So I love it so much. And shout out to all the rest.
It was, and I mean, I definitely will chalk that up to the fact that CMLL, they don't travel from stadium to stadium. They wrestle at Arena Mexico. They wrestle in Guadalajara. They wrestle in Puebla, and they have established places so that they can like set everything up. And I feel like that is a step up from other promotions that have to go, from town to town, and constantly do taking up and breaking down. Because the set design for this entire week of Dia de los Muertos shows was just ridiculous. It was fantastic. And I also do just want to add really quick. This graphic was awesome. But this show, this Viernes Espectacular, was split in two. The first half was like a human, you're alive half. And then it gets weird. So go ahead.
I love this. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Agent Lo-Fi coming in. So people really underestimate only the building you run. CMLL has extremely low overhead for their size.
Yep.
It's 100%. But let's get into it. So we kick things off with a relevo sencillo, una caída, so one fall, a tag team match. Of course, we get the team of Rey Cometa and Espíritu Negro taking on two of our, as I will always call them, two of our Torneo de Escuela boys that we get to see ever so often. This time in the form of Poseidon and Troglodita. I love seeing the Escuela boys pop up into our Viernes Espectacular because I had such a blast watching the Torneo de Escuelas earlier this year. Yeah. We had a blast talking about it and getting to watch those matches. And every time we get to see them, I am so happy. Again, I say this every single Wednesday that the opening match is important to this show because it carries into everything that we get to see and what we do. And I love these four individually. We have seen them on multiple occasions. I hold a special place for the Escuela boys. And honestly, this was a really strong opener. This is up there for me. I was like, this is the opening match. But by the end of it, I was like, I enjoyed a lot of this, but that opening match is still like in my tops for me. This was really strong from everyone. These were great performances from all four of these men. Like, I honestly don't have too many notes. I was like, this was fantastic. I had a good time with this one.
Well, it was just smart math to put las Trapas Sueñas, Rey Cometa and Espíritu Negro, who are two seasoned veterans, that know how to start the show, with these hot young up and comers in Poseidon and in Troglodita. They all four of them worked really well together. There was a few spots where, especially when Rey Cometa hit was it a tijera or a plancha?
I'm trying to think. I think
it was a tijera.
Yeah.
On Poseidon to the outside of the ring. And I thought, oh man, he's not getting up, but he got up and everything was fine. But just from like the way the camera shot it, it looked like he cracked his head on the floor. But he didn't. But yeah, no, this brought the vibe that we needed. Oh, and we can't forget that the God of Death actually came out and welcomed everyone
I
to
was
this
just
very
like,
spectacular.
I was just like,
How can we
holy,
overlook that?
I was
Hello?
like, yes, man, we got our own, we gotta have the, not just for this show, but the whole entire weekend of shows
Yeah.
over Dia de los Muertos. Literally, it was CMLL's version of La Catrina, and I fucking was like,
Yeah.
yes,
That
ma'am,
was gorgeous.
goddess of the underworld,
Yep.
matron of the death.
Yep. But yeah, this match was great. Real lots of high energy, set the pace for the night.
100%. Of course, Rey Cometa, Espiritu Negro, pull out the win here. Very, very good. Very, very strong opener. The vibes was great, and I loved it. Moving into our second match of the evening, we get into some more fun stuff because, again, these pictures are immaculate. Listen, I'm a sucker for good graphic design, and this is also like one of them that I really, really enjoy. But we get a relevo australiano a dos de tres caídas. So this is the team of Capitán Suicida, Hijo del Pantera, and Magia Blanca, taking on the team of Espanto Jr., El Cobarde, and of course, one of our personal favorites here across CMLL and MLW, Okumura. I This was great. If I wish they'd do that every week. Cough. What? That too. Yeah, it was nice to actually get a full week of CMLL. Wish they'd do that every week. Cough. What? I mean, yeah, I 100% agree with you, but you know what? I will take it where we can get it on these special occasions. Like, love it. Again, another one. This was a lot of fun. I'm gonna keep saying this. For this show in particular, normally I was like, oh, this person messed up, or I didn't feel the vibes, I didn't feel the energy. But because it was Dia de los Muertos the whole entire weekend for CMLL, like I don't know if it was just me, like not being able to see 100% through the tears of joy that I was crying. But I ended up overlooking some stuff that I normally wouldn't, and I am okay to say that I was biased this week. I had fun with this one. I love all six of these individuals. Of course, I love me some Okamura anytime I get him. Man is a whole entire talent, and I love him. Espanto Jr. is kind of going up the ranks for me every time I see him more and more. This was just fun. I had a good time with this one. Adolfo, what did you think of this match?
So yeah, the thing that that pushed this one over. No, this is not yours. The thing that pushed this over the top was the whole Dia de los Muertos, dare I say, overlay to it. That just added this extra level that that I to be honest, I didn't know existed. The match was good. It was, dare I say, your standard Viernes Espectacular affair that we've come to know and love. Capitán Suicida, Hijo del Pantera, Magia Blanca. They've wrestled Espanto Jr., El Cobarde, and El Kimura before. So, they know how each other works. We do get our Rudo team. They do end up with the win in this one, taking the 2 out of 3 of the pinfalls. But yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. It was, again, that just the whole the feel just pushed it over and it's hard to put it into words. It's just like you got to watch it, you know what I mean? From like when they come out and everyone is decked out either, in a special Dia de los Muertos mask, or they are wearing like a skull face paint type situation, to just what we're going to talk about in a few minutes here. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
100%. And of course, Agent Lo-Fi coming in with his thoughts that I want to make sure get here. Capitan and Pantera were fun in this one, which I 100% agree. And I really dig Hijo del Pantera. His style in the ring really stands out.
The other thing I wanted to point out, which I really liked, was how no one except Mystico, no one had their theme music. The music that they went with, the everyone's entrance music, was like Mexican drumming to like add to that whole feeling, like you're at like an Aztec temple, joining the gods of death for in this ceremony, like this fighting ceremony. So it was, which I thought was really cool. So yeah.
This was really, really good. And Agent Lo-Fi closing it out. It's basically a red carpet type vibe with the gear. Everyone shows out, and I 100% agree. And I love it. As Adolfo stated, the Rudos ended up picking the victory here. So Espanto Jr., El Cobarde, and Okamura will leave with the win. But a fantastic and a fun match. Yeah. No, but let's talk about this really quick, Agent Lo-Fi, because as much as I love CMLL, like, we got to stop. Like, this is a crime.
Yeah. Yeah, the overdub they do is weird.
Yes, I need the vibes. Listen, I know you're on YouTube and we can't get copyrighted, but I was just like, I wasn't expecting you to, but like, come on now. When Mercedes came out and she came out to a Selena song, like, I wanted to vibe to Selena, but it is what it is at this point. But we got to move on, though, because let's talk about this one, though, because I was like...
Well, and before we get to this,
yes,
this is where this show all of a sudden changed, because all of the gods of death came out and they brought out all their minions and they told the crowd that this is no longer just a regular show, that this is now competition. The winners get to stay and walk among among the mortal realm. The losers are taken down to the fiery depths. And for the rest, and that was they had the god of death, the goddess of death was out there. They had all their minions, and the losers of the matches got taken away to the gates of the underworld, and the winners got to walk out. So, like, like I said, it just to me, the show from here on out just like went to an 11. Yeah. This, we got a match Larámpago with India Sui versus Persephone. We have our newest Universal Amazona champion facing off against last year's Amazona Universal champion.
Yep.
La Reina de Nuestros Corazones, which we can't use that graphic anymore.
I know, but what I did appreciate is that the way that they built this match too, it is this year's Amazona Universal Champion versus this year's Amazona Grand Prix winner too.
Yes. The match was great, I thought, and I know that people here aren't fans of the draw. The match ended in a draw. I thought it was great in how it ended. The fact that India and Persephone got caught outside, beating on each other, and then like when it got down to 2, they tried to jump in and just missed it. I thought that was really good. The great showing for the two of them. I feel like India is ever since she's gotten the Universal belt on her, that has unlocked like some new skill sets in her because she just, uh, she, I feel like she was pulling some aerial moves and some other maneuvers that I really have never seen her hit before. And they, not only did she hit them, but she hit them well. So yeah. Go ahead, Mikey.
No, you pretty much said everything I was going to say. I really enjoyed this match. Again, I love that when we talked about it last week, they touted um, that this was the current Universal Champion versus the current Amazona Grand Prix. And this was great. I'm fine that it ended in a double countout. And yeah, Agent Lo-Fi, I'm fine with these two feuding as long as they want 110%. However, they also both went to hell.
They
and that
literally,
was hilarious.
yes. The gods of death, their cronies that were around the ring when the match ended, they went in, they got Persephone Industry, and they escorted them to the underworld.
No one is safe.
Which you knew it was the underworld because it was a special door that had marigolds hanging from it, 3 skulls, and when they walked them through the skulls, the eyes turned to red. It was fantastic. Oh, it's so good. It was so good.
I
think the underworld. I don't know why we're having this discussion. Gates of the underworld.
Gates of the underworld. I need more. Listen, I'm not saying every wrestling promotion needs to make a contract with the underworld, but I'm just saying y'all gotta start leaning into it, you guys. Come on now. Anywho, yeah. But this was a fun one. Persephone and India both go to the underworld, so that was hilarious. But as far as the match itself goes, I had a fun time with this one, and both of these women are amazing, and I love them.
Yep.
So
man,
I was like, be like, anyways, no, but this match was a lot of fun too. This was a relevo australiano a dos de tres caídas. So again, I love everybody in this one. So of course, on the technical side, you have Titan, Esfinge, and Shelhua taking on the Rudos of Averno, Euphoria, and Mephisto. God, I love this. I was just like, I love everyone in here individually, and I was just like, I had fun, you guys.
Yeah. I felt like Titan was moving in a way that I haven't seen him move in like a year and a half. He looked really fresh. He was hitting a lot of series, like going from one move to another move to another move to another move, just like really smoothly. Like I said, in a way that I haven't seen him hit maybe since like the beginning of this year. Was that when yes, the beginning of this year, so it's only been a few months. But yeah, because watching him in New Japan and all that, it over the past few months, I don't know if he's had lingering injuries that he hasn't talked about, but he has looked a little pulled back in this match. He took the weighted training gear came off, and we got the Titan that we're like, oh yeah, that's Titan. Shelhua and Esfinge, great. I'm always, and I will probably say this every time we bring them up, but I am always so impressed at both Esfinge and Shelhua because they are big boys, but they can move so well. It's ridiculous. And I mean, Los Infernales, come on, it's Los Infernales. This is their vibe, man. This is their thing. I loved when Los Infernales came out. They were like hand slapping all the denizens of the underworld, and when the Técnicos came out, they were like not like trying to stay away from all the denizens of the underworld. I thought that was a cool little dare I say, juxtaposition.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire, right? But yeah, unfortunately, Los Infernales, they lost, so they got taken to the underworld. Though I don't think that's too far off base for the Los
For
Infernales.
reals. For reals. So I had this was a fun match, and I agree with you, Primo. This was another solid one from everyone. Yeah, no notes. I had fun with this one too.
Yep.
Ah, man. Ooh! Yeah, yes. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, yes, more of this, please.
Because okay, you're a world champion. You have a world championship belt. You're an intercontinental champion. I have an intercontinental belt. How about you? I'm El Rey del Inframundo. I'm the king of the underworld. That's what this match was for. It was for the title of the Rey del Inframundo, the king of the underworld. That's freaking awesome.
What was even we're far enough in. This was fucking rad. Anyways, no, but in all seriousness, what I also loved about this is, of course, we have going into this match Difunto, who is the champion, but then we have, the other three participants representing the other three the three arenas for CMLL. So of course, representing Puebla, we have Guerrero Maya Jr. Of course, like I said, Difunto is the champion. Representing Ciudad de Mexico is Villano Dres Jr. And representing Guadalajara is Adrenalina.
Yep.
This match ruled again. I was like, holy hell.
Yeah. Shout out to Guerrero Maya Jr., whose mask. I mean, he normally has this whole like bat motif going, but like he went heavy. Especially with in his mask. Yeah, he went heavy with that whole bat motif. And that was really cool. And I tried to see, I couldn't find, and Primo, maybe you can back me up on this, to see if Adrenalina is actually like hurt, or if it was just a thing. But yeah, early on in the match, so this was kind of this was a four-way, right? But what happens is that instead of when one person pins, the person that gets the pin is the champion, it eliminates people when you pin them until you end up with the final two contestants, and then the final two go at it. Adrenalina was early on. It actually looked like he got hurt early on, because he went out onto the ramp, and his body language was reflecting like he got hurt. And then for a good portion of the first part of this match, he was just outside of the ring, and he only really came in to get pinned. And then once he got pinned, the doctor came out and the medical squad came out. And they took him out on a backboard.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I tried to look. I couldn't see if it's actually, if he actually, if it's going to be a lingering injury, or what really happened. But Adrenalina, if you're hurt, feel better, man.
For real.
Awesome. So
it's crazy, because it's like an exchange where Adrenalina might be out. Of course, we lost Flip Gordon for a little bit, and we're also getting some returning injury folks that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But shout out to Guerrero Maya Jr. representing Puebla. Love the mask. And this was fun.
Yeah, so then the second one that got eliminated was Villano Tercero Jr., who I think the doctor came out to check on him as well, which please don't take this the wrong way, but what better match for people to get carted out on backboards and the medical staff to come check out than
the championship of the dead
match where the god is. And again, please don't misconstrue what I'm saying, and don't think I'm a horrible person, but I thought it was fucking just
It was
on
hysterical.
par. Or it was perfect how Adrenaline, the medical staff is with Adrenalina,
Right.
and they're backboarding him, and the God of Death comes out. And he's just like, "Get him out of here! We still got a match going on, Vamos!"
Be like, we need more souls.
Oh
This
my
is like he's
God, yeah.
be like, we'll come collect it later, but we got other souls that are going to be. So
man.
Viano Tres Jr. is fine, so he gets eliminated, which ultimately leaves it down to Defunto and Guerrero Maya Jr.
Yep.
Guerrero Maya Jr. ends up winning. It is the new champion of the dead. Defunto has to go to the underworld, which again,
the new king of the dead.
That's true. The king
He's
of
El
the
Rey.
dead. El Rey.
Make sure we give him his props.
Fine. I'm just kidding.
I didn't see. I'll be honest. I didn't see Guerrero Maya Jr. Or not that I didn't see, but
we literally have a wrestling zombie. Like, who better to be a champion for this?
yeah, and he was getting such a great pop too, Defunto, especially at the end there. Like Primo said, when Adrenalina got hurt and got taken out, it did take the crowd a few minutes to kind of like get back into it, but by the end they were really pushing for Defunto. And if I was putting any money on this match, I would have put my money on Defunto retaining as El Rey del Inframundo. But yeah, no, Guerrero Maya Jr. Comes out with a win, a very good win as well. Very exciting match. Definitely. This is definitely what I'm going to revisit. It might be on my year-end list.
You know what? Stay tuned at the end of December, so that way we can let y'all know because that is the end of our end of year podcast, and I'm looking forward to it. This was a lot of fun, which leads us into the main event of Viernes Espectacular. Of course, this is what. As soon as I saw this, I was just like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, all right." I was like, "I already know what we're about to do." Right. So, in a relevo australiano a 2 de 3 caídas, so 2 out of 3 falls, we have our technical team, Sky Team, which is Místico, Máscara Dorada, and Neon.
You're taking on
taking on the Rudo team, which is Hechicero, Volador Jr., and Barbaro Cavernario. I had fun. Again, I keep saying that, but I was like, I had fun.
Yeah, I mean, like on paper, and if you watch the match without the Dia de los Muertos overlay, it's a standard Viernes Espectacular ending. Sky Team comes in, does Sky Team things. Hechicero, Volador Jr. and Barbaro Cavernario come in. They do Hechicero, Volador Jr. and Barbaro Cavernario things. But we get Místico gets the final win with the Mística. I mean, but it was just the whole Dia de los Muertos overlay thing that just like pushed this over the edge. And again, like this is the match that I really noticed, and I rewinded back and kind of like quick watched where when the Rudos came in, they were like high-fiving and addressing the denizens of the underworld. But when the technicals came in, they like wanted nothing to do with the denizens of the underworld. So but it was good. It was good. If I am gonna throw a nitpick about this, I would have flipped the semi-main event and the main event is all. That's it.
Very fair. And I agree with you. And Agent Lo-Fi has the same thoughts. These guys have such a stupid high bar that the only complaint would be it was kind of standard.
Yeah.
Nothing really new. And Primo caught the tail end of yesterday's review when he popped in at the right moment as Benny and I were talking about the Collision main event from this past weekend, which we saw Mascara go one-on-one with Bandito for round 2, and that match was amazing. And he was letting us know that Mascara was trying out crazier stuff on the Tuesday show. So, yeah. Listen, if I said this, whether it's in Mexico or in AEW, I am okay with Bandito and Mascara round 3. Shoot, if you want to make that Bandito's opponent for Ring of Honor's final battle in December, I am here for all of it. But again, this was a really I enjoyed myself for this one. This again, I think Agent Lo-Fi, Primo said it best, is that there's such a high bar for these guys that it was a kind of standard, nothing too crazy. Yep. But I also agree with you, Adolfo, that I would have switched some things around, and I think it would have been fun. But overall, this was a really fun episode of Viernes Espectacular. This was the first of many events over the weekend for Dia de los Muertos, and it was a fun time to be had by all. Yep. So let us get into previewing what to expect for this Friday's Viernes Espectacular. So we are officially in November. It is crazy that we are almost at the end of the year. The time has gone by, and CMLL, we love watching and covering you. So we have an interesting card coming up for this Friday. So let's go over it, shall we? So kicking things off for the Friday, November 7th edition of Viernes Espectacular, we, of course, have Oro Jr. and Diamond taking on Polvora and El Coyote. So that should be a lot of fun for that one. Then
haven't seen those four opening up Viernes Spectacular in a while.
So that should be a fun one. Then right after that, we get a good trios match. So we are getting Akuma and the Gemelos Diablo Uno y Dos. So don't worry, Agent Lo-Fi. I'm going to bring it up when we get to him because our boyfriend is back, y'all. Anyways. But no, we're going to talk about him in a little bit. But we get Akuma and Gemelos Diablo Uno y Dos taking on El Cobarde, Felino Jr. and Hijo de Stuka Jr. Then in the Amazona Relampago match, we get India Sui taking on the Babe with Power, our lovely Zuxis. Like, yes, she can bench mash me anytime. Then in a very interesting mix of people in trios match, of course, we are getting our New Japan Strong Tag champs, Templario and TJP, teaming up with Esfinge to take on Volador Jr., Rugido, and Vegas. So that's interesting.
Is Vegas?
He is part. He is. I remember him getting the mask like beginning of the year or towards the tail end of last year. I remember. I remember him getting it.
Right. So they're facing off against the Depredadores. Got it. Okay.
Love it. Yes, TJP is here for the whole weekend. Amazing. Love TJP. And then again, things get kind of crazy because then in the semi-main event, it is a one-on-one singles match where we're getting Máscara Dorada versus MLW Austin Aries.
What?
I knew he was coming because of Informa last week, but even still, to see his name on the card and him being in Mexico, I was like, oh. I was like, okay. Look, say what you will. I'm glad that Místico beat him to advance into the finals of the Opera Cup.
Yep.
It's going to be very interesting to see how Austin Aries is received in Mexico, and I'm interested to see who walks out as the winner between him and Máscara Dorada.
Totally.
So this should be interesting. Oh, yeah. Agent Lo-Fi, yes, Vegas is, but he's on his own island, LOL. He's part of the family, but also not really at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Austin Aries and Máscara Dorada link up. So that should be very interesting. But then in the main event, y'all, first of all, this new picture for Atlantis Jr., I'm kind of here. Wait, yes.
Sorry.
As long as the matches are good and he F's off after that, I'm good. Honestly, fair. You know what? That's fair. But let's talk about why we're really here. First of all, this new graphic with his jacket, Atlantis Jr., I'm kind of vibing, not going to lie. But in the main event, it is a tag team match. Atlantis Jr. And Titan, who I love, is taking on Angel de Oro and making his grand return. Our novio, the the Prince of Darkness himself, Soberano Jr. He is back on my screen in the ring capacity. I have missed Soberano Jr. so damn much.
We all have. I'll be honest. I 100% thought that at the end of this past Viernes Spectacular, that like Mystico would be out in the ring, and then like the God of Death would come and sneak attack him, and then like take the mask off, and it's Silverado Jr. I'm happy that they didn't, because it was the God of Death. Full stop. But like I kind of saw that, and I'm not gonna lie, I'd be kind of here for that, because like I've missed Soberano Jr. and yeah, I'm happy he's back in the main event.
Exactly. And the Squidward meme plays in my mind every now that Soberano Jr. is back. It's like, oh my god, he's hot. No, but I'm really excited. I have missed Soberano Jr. this whole entire year, and now that he's better, healthy, and cleared, I am excited to see him. Protect this man at all costs.
Right.
Ooh. So Agent Lo-Fi says Soberano was great on Informa tonight. Again, I have missed him, so I'm really excited to see him return in this main event. Yeah, he's main eventing this Viernes Espectacular, and honestly, I've missed him, and I'm glad he is. Like, his presence was missed this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Very much.
So that is this. So yeah, that's this Friday. I'm excited about that. And that's it for the review portion of CMLL. Really quickly, I only have one thing I want to talk about, noticias. Well, two things. One is about a CMLL talent that was involved in another promotion. And then I just want to get on my soapbox for a little bit before we get off on the evening. So this past Saturday, our goddess herself, Olympia, got to challenge Mercedes Moné for the CMLL Women's World Championship on AEW Collision this past Saturday. I am so proud of her. I love that she, as well as like Persephone and La Catalina and some of the other CMLL Amazonas who are coming over and working with AEW and Ring of Honor, getting the shine. I will say this again, say what you will about Mercedes and her 15,000 belts, but I would like to quote Primo, because I believe he says it best. And I believe it's true, especially seeing what we've seen so far. I think Mercedes has done a really good job of letting the luchadors play. She plays with the luchadors in a way that even in losses, they are the true stars of the match. And she puts them over, whether it's in Arena Mexico or in the stateside. And very few wrestlers, in my experience, have done that. And funny enough, this is the second time I'm mentioning this, because earlier today, I said the same thing about All Ego Ethan Page, because he had a match against Triple A star El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. And I said the same thing. Ethan is another talent that lets the luchadors be luchadors, and it was great. Olympia did not win, unfortunately, but it was a strong showing, and definitely that arena has a lot more fans for Olympia, and hopefully that means more eyes on CMLL. Shoot, it made my host Benny be like, I need to check out more CMLL, and I'm like, yes, honestly. And I have to agree, and that's what I said during the review too, is the best match Olympia could have had, and she did great, Mercedes did great, and honestly, again, have Mercedes fight a lot of these Amazonas and put them over even in a loss. Like, it was so good. I had a fun time with this. The last thing I want to talk about, and we talked about it a little bit to be getting into the show, but this weekend was so much fun for me for CMLL, and it holds a special place in my heart. I don't know, to everybody, but nobody's surprised too. Ooh, really? Hold up. That's an interesting one. She's only had 13 single matches before that. Yeah. Damn.
I can only think of Olympia matches where she's been with her sister.
That's very true.
Or in a trios. So
I love it.
Go ahead.
No, that's okay. No, I love that fact. That's even better. That's why I'm happy to see her get more singles pushes. She's great and she deserves it. But again, this weekend was very, very special to me, and it holds a special place in my heart. to nobody's surprise, I am 50% Latin. I am 100% Latino, 50% Mexican, 50% Puerto Rican, and I was so proud to see my culture represented this past weekend on the screen. And again, we talk about professional wrestling, so I try to keep all the sentimentalism and also like all the cultural and the political stuff separate from it. But at the same time, given the way that the world has looked at me and treated the people like me over the last year or so, it was really nice to watch my culture be honored and show up and show out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's all I want to say. I could be here forever, but we got to get up on out of here. So that's my little soapbox. I'm just very proud of CMLL always showing up and showing out for the culture. They are for the peoples.
Wonderful.
Mi gente, love them. But that's going to be it for us tonight for Los Lobos de la Lucha. Next week, we will hopefully have the full crew back once again to, talk about our boyfriend, our novio, my baby daddy, our baby daddy, collectively speaking, Enzo Barano Jr. In his match, and just, talking about some other fun stuff as well. We do have 2 more things left this week. After a couple of weeks off due to no television tapings, we are finally back with TNA this Friday as we have the return of Open Fight Night for TNA, which means that any wrestler can make any challenge and it must be accepted. So far, we have a fatal 4-way of the tag team division. The women's champions have made some demands and call outs, and it's going to be crazy. I cannot wait to get to talk about that. And then Sunday, we talk about WWE, Raw, and SmackDown. We are now in a post-Saturday night main event, a Saturday night's main event world where CM Punk is champion and Jade Cargill is also champion too, and she a baddie. And that's how she should have been pushed the whole entire time. But stay tuned on Sunday to hear more about that. But that's going to be it for us here at Los Lobos de la Luchas. Thank you so much for tuning in from all of us here at BC Wrestle Pod. Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will see you Friday for TNA. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.
Me tiene loco en la cabeza cuando me tocas. Siento que todo está bien, pero en verdad yo no sé si tú lo sientes.